Good morning. Okay, time to think of more things and stuff. Good morning, Dathon. Also, am I pronouncing that correctly? Is it Dathon or is it supposed to be something else? Because, like, the way that's spelled, like, I see it and then my brain just immediately goes Dathoniel Panty, which is probably not the best association to just be like, oh, your name sounds like another name. Just death is fine, okay. I'll, I'll call you Dethan. Nah. Although that would actually be really hilarious for a story. Like, if you have a death character, but, like, they're just super incompetent, so everyone calls them Dethan. Because it's, like, very similar to Ethan in terms of spelling, if you just add a few letters. Okay. I like this idea a little bit of, like, something just getting out of the lab, because that's just a classic. That's just a classic fuck up trope. But one idea I had is maybe like some other company was trying to make something and then that got out and just infected the ecosystem. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't impact humans. So it's like a small scale threat, but it will eventually become an issue because insects are a major part of the ecology. So then the protagonist is developed by different people to go and kill the infected insects and then assimilate them to take the infection just into themselves to neutralize it. Hmm. Oh, I need to be careful not to throw my controller onto the floor. So you play the role of a bioweapon? Yeah, I suppose technically you would be considered a bioweapon, but it's more so you would be playing the role as the cleanup crew. A one-man army trying to cleanse nature from the fuck up of humanity. I'm not sure exactly, like, I haven't thought about what the infection would do, but the idea is that you are the solution to a problem somebody else created. So they develop you and then release you out into the wild. So you hunt down and find the infected individuals, kill them, and assimilate them into yourself. Uh, you use their biomass to upgrade yourself, but also just because you're taking in the infection, you're able to neutralize it so that it is no longer a threat. And then the idea, I guess, would be to maybe there could be like specific concentrations of infection. So, like, from a lore perspective, taking out specific quote unquote bosses would actually clean the infection more than just the random enemies. So that's why you're going after those ones in particular, because they're a bigger threat than just some random mooks. That also simplifies the game world by a good margin, so the game itself would be easier to develop. Oh, if it's like just a small area. Is it's like, oh fuck, it's just this one forest that got fucked up. And the idea is to contain the infection before it spreads to the rest of the like countryside and then wider planet. I'm imagining potentially the tutorial of the game could be like just actually in a lab setting, as like the people developing you are showing you off to their higher ups to get approval to put you into the field. So they like plop you down into like a testing chambers of sorts. I mean, like, there's defined this is good and this is bad, so there's not much gray area on how you use your powers. Oh, true. Yeah. That's a very good point. Because it's not really an ethical dilemma story. It's a oh shit, we need to fix this type story. It's an apocalypse prevention story. You'd be the hero by design. Yeah, at least from the actually no. You'd be the hero from the human's perspective. And depending on what the infection itself does, you would be the hero by everyone's perspective. I mean, I guess maybe not the infection. Maybe the infection could be like a genetically enhanced fucking what was the mushroom thing we were talking about yesterday? Like that controls ants and other insects. Maybe the infection is a modified version of that. Also, I haven't decided if the infection will be made by another company or if it's made by the same company and we're trying to cover our own ass. That'd be hard not to be seen as the hero if you stop it. Yeah. I think it could potentially be funny if, like, our corporation caused the infection and is also trying to fix it to cover their own ass. Or, or maybe cordyceps and mycelium. Okay, maybe, maybe the infection was made by someone higher up in this company in order to create a problem to then create a solution to sell. Because if you have a small uh, entity that is able to assimilate matter into itself, that could potentially be used for a wide variety of applications, not just cleanup. Because if you could get that technology perfected, you could then maybe upscale it to create like human level super beings. So maybe it's like a corporate espionage type thing. So like maybe like the infection or whatever had a built-in lifespan. It's just nobody knew about it. So like it was going to just die off within 2 generations or something. Although that might be a bit of an overused trope. There's a lot, but that also sounds like Prototype. I've never played Prototype. I have seen a little bit of it, just like fucking years and years ago. So like, I actually know nothing about it other than like, there's an assimilation mechanic and you're fighting infected things. Like, I don't actually know, like, like, I don't know all that much about the story. If you know other games that use it, I would love to know. Well, I mean, I don't explicitly know uh, of specific ones. Uh, but that just, like, corporate espionage and, like, someone intentionally making a problem sounds like a thing that would happen. Aside from playing the game, if you want to know something about it, you're free to ask. Oh, that's going to be a mild issue, because if I'm developing a game that's similar to Prototype, I mean, I want to play the game without spoilers. But I mean, I might have to, like, it might potentially be better for me to play the game to get inspiration. Or maybe I can just keep recreating it one for one without ever having touched the thing. Hmm. It's actually better to do your own thing and maybe later play it and adjust from there. Yeah, I suppose that's fair. So that at the very least you can get a baseline list of ideas. That way there's no concern about copying. Yeah. So you can get like a baseline list of ideas without any influence whatsoever. I think there's actually like the people making Nintendo 64 emulators like explicitly had to not look at the leaked N64 source code, because if they looked at it, there could be legal implications of like Nintendo being like, "Oh, you directly were influenced by our code." Blah 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 blah. If you exactly copy code, it's easily catchable. Yeah. Okay, now this might be a bit of a dated reference, but one enemy, or well, one boss I would love to include is like maybe as a secret boss or something, but like I'm imagining you like are making your way through like a grassy tunnel or something, and you make your way out into an opening, and there's like this large white mouse that maybe it has like a slash and like a scar over one of its eyes, and it's dragging around this like old rusted toy motorbike. It like turns to you, roars, and then the boss health bar appears, and the name is Stuart. And like I don't know if it's riding the bike or if it's using it as like a great hammer, but like I would love to include something like that. Stuart. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys got that. And then I was thinking after you beat them, the achievement would be not so little anymore. Visits of the Coast employees are similarly banned from looking at fan created magic cards. Interesting. Honestly, like I really like the idea of them riding on the motorbike as like an homage back to the original story, but also just them using it as a massive fucking hammer sounds hilarious as well. Wait, is it actually spelled Stewart? No, no, it's Stuart. Oh my god, I don't give a fuck about the movie. Show me the book. Stewart, I just type. Oh no, no, I was talking about death's spelling. Oh damn! Apparently, there's been a fucking ton of releases for that book. Although, fair, it was pretty popular for its time. The idea of a rat butler named Stuart Little is music too. True. Although, if we're going with the idea of we're playing as like a cleanup crew, like killing infected animals and insects, I don't think there's gonna be very much wiggle room for like actual NPCs to talk to. Because if these are like actual animals that are infected, they're not going to have human level communicative skills. We also will have to decide at some point which insect the player is playing as. I was thinking maybe like a modified wasp or something. Because I just think that could just make for a cool design. Niche piece of knowledge, but the most dangerous spider in the world is called the Newcastle Big Boy. And it's recently discovered a larger variant of its predecessor, the Sydney funnel web spider. Yeah, I saw a YouTube short about that. It's from Australia. Big surprise. Hmm. All three of the most dangerous spiders in the world are native to Australia because, of course, they are. Honestly, it makes sense. Like, it makes perfect sense that the most dangerous things would all be on that one island. Because, like, for every other place on the planet, there's the Americas and then there's the Eurasian landmass. If there is an environmental pressure that is, like, incredibly significant, you can just fucking go somewhere else. If you're in Australia, you're fucking in Australia. You're stuck there. So you either adapt or you die out. So, like, it's not surprising that fucking everything there is absolutely mental. Hmm. The drop there. I thought that was actually just like just like a joke. It's not actually real. It's a joke variation of the koala bear. Ah, okay. Oh my goodness. Imagine like hearing about drop bears, but then like you're visiting Australia and then a fucking koala falls into the back of your like buggy or whatever. Also, koalas are some of the dumbest animals on the planet. Like they eat exclusively leaves that are like poisonous to them slightly. I understand if the joke is Australians made the joke for pretty much that exact reason. Nice. Hmm. Maybe. Ooh. I don't know if it would be too big of an animal, but maybe a bearded dragon. Maybe in its mutated state, it could have like an actual proper breath weapon. Although like a lizard like that might be getting too big in terms of scale. Also, a raven is also pretty big. Like I think, like if we go with a wasp, which was my original idea, I think those are like around like 1 to 1.5 inches long. Yeah, hornets up to like 1.5. A typical wasp is like about half an inch. What's the fucking like murder hornet? The one that just like fucking good memory or something? Okay, yeah, that one's up to 1.5 inches as well. Could play as a praying mantis. Praying mantis is a bit too big, I would think. Like, A praying mantis would also potentially make for a cool boss. Oh, no. Fuck off, YouTube. Seriously? Dropping frames this early into the stream? If the bosses are generally on the larger side? Hmm? Yeah, but like you want some of the normal enemies to be around player size. So like if you're playing as a praying mantis, then like a good chunk of the other insects that would be available would be like not even half your size. And then we wouldn't be able to potentially like have like anthill or like a hive as like a location. Although I guess we would have to potentially modify. We're gonna have to fuck with scale a little bit just to make things interesting. Because like some stuff just wouldn't really work for game design if it was one-to-one. Maybe comparably large, though that could be part of the fun. I mean, I'm definitely imagining the bosses are going to be bigger. Because that just seems like a common trope for Souls-likes, and that's a trope that I'm fine with. You got this big fuck-off monster that's trying to obliterate you, and you have to make sure it doesn't obliterate you. I'm imagining you fucking assimilate like the bombardier beetle, and then you just get a goddamn rocket launcher. One idea that I was imagining as a part of the bestiary mechanic is as you assimilate enemies, like say there's a certain enemy that's just fucking housefly, for example, or whatever. Let's say like as you assimilate more and more houseflies, one, you just get the biomass as the money and stuff. But you unlock more and more information about the housefly. But there's a twist. Like, if you assimilate a specific enemy, you gain more information in that. Alternatively, at a higher cost, you could just spend normal biomass to unlock more information from an arbitrary thing. Question is, are the giant big or Shadow of the Colossus skyscraper big? It would be cool if the bestiary was written on a torn moth wings. That could be interesting. Although I was kind of thinking maybe the bestiary is actually like all of the information is being logged by whatever technology was used to upgrade you, and then it's actually being stored in like a computer back at the lab. Because this is like kind of sci-fi-esque, more so than fantasy. So like you could either like specifically fight a bunch of the same enemy to just get a lot of fast information, or you could just spend money to get general information on a specific arbitrary one. So like that would allow one for like, let's say there's like a particular enemy that's just super annoying. You could just not fight it and then just get all the information by just buying it. Or like you could fight it and then maybe you only have to kill it like a few times. I'm also imagining that like when you kill an enemy, like you get a set amount of biomass, but if you absorb an enemy, you get an increase of biomass. So like if you manage to get like a specific like special kill technique off at the very end, which might be riskier, but you get more money. Okay, we definitely need a spider boss. I mean, we could go with the classic Black Widow. Although a Black Widow might actually be smaller than the player if we're going with a Hornet. I guess maybe the infection could like be physically modifying them as well, so it could be like a giant spider. And then of course the bosses and enemies and stuff can be changed later if we need to. That's why I briefly mentioned the Newcastle Big Boy. I actually don't know what those look like. Let's find out. There's also always the tarantula. True. That's a classic. Although the Newcastle Big Boy wouldn't really make much sense unless we were playing in Australia. Although that would be kind of funny. It's like, this is already the most fucked up place on Earth, and now we just made the wildlife even more powerful. Ooh, actually, that's a good point. Depending on where this is located, that would impact the variety of insects that I would be able to use. I mean, unless we want to just be in a fictional location and we can just throw whatever we want. Oh my goodness, can I just fucking get a size comparison? What if there was a specialty bosses that are actually invasive species? Ooh. That could be interesting. Ooh. What if most of the bosses themselves are like actually like actively modified animals? But like something happened at the lab and there was a massive containment breach. And that's how the infection initially got out. So like the actual mutated animals can like spread the infection, but then like the smaller just random enemies are infected, but they can't spread it further. Or it's like slower to spread. So that's why we're killing the bosses specifically, because that's going to stop the spread fastest. You allow links. They are currently disabled because fucking bots. I don't know if there's a way for me to whitelist individual users. But I'll go ahead and turn it off for a moment. Go ahead. You can go ahead and send your link. Oh. Okay. So like 6 to 7 inches. That's pretty big. Okay, yeah, that could work. Is that the big boy? I also think it would be hilarious for you to like waltz into the boss arena, for it to like drop down from the ceiling, slammed into the ground, and then the health bar just says "big boy." Into a room, there's a boss, but then an even bigger boss drops down and eats it for dramatic effect. Oh, okay. Well, but then the first one wouldn't really be a boss; they would just be a cutscene thing. Yo, okay, I just had two ideas. One, you fight the boss, but then like you you go in, there's a boss, and you fight it as normal, but then like after you kill it, like it goes into a cutscene, and then the bigger boss drops down, obliterating it. So it's like a quote unquote two-phase boss, but it's two different enemies. Alternatively, you kill the boss, and then like as you're going to absorb it, some fucking dick weasel shoots in from off screen, slams through it, assimilating the biomass before you can get to it, and then it turns out some other company is trying to take advantage of the situation to develop their tech. You see them when it shows a boss health bar, but then it just dies immediately. Oh, so it's not actually a boss; it's a fake out boss. Hmm. Hmm. Something else that could potentially be cool is like a scenario like what you described, but instead of the second boss killing the first and then you fight the second boss, it's just like the second boss just grabs the first one and then just leaves. Like you go in and there's like a big frog enemy, and then like the health bar appears, and then just a fucking eagle swoops in, grabs it, and flies off. Or like a falcon or something. And then, like, not all of the bosses actually have to be infected. Maybe some of them are just animals that are just trying to eat you. That'd be a good way of reminding the player of the scale that they're at. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, even the things that this game is telling you are bosses is nothing in comparison to the actual things that are out there. Or maybe it could be like you actually do fight them, but like maybe if you take too long or some other trigger happens, then the like bird swoops in to grab it because like you're moving around and making noise and stuff. Because like I would still prefer the players to still have a way to beat the boss, like so that they can actually like kill it for like all bosses type stuff. You making noise or harming it enough would make it more appealing prey. True. The health thing would also work two-way. We just need to do enough damage up front to stop this touch. Yeah, but I'm trying to. I also want to account for like people wanting to do low percent. So I don't want it to just be like a damage threshold, like the boss doesn't actually have a full health bar. Oh, actually, maybe it could just be when the boss's health is depleted, that's not an indicator of the player killing it. That's just the end of the fight. So you deplete the health, then the cutscene starts, and the bird swoops in. So that could just be like a little preview of the Raven before you actually fight them. Almost a low percent sounds like torture. Yeah, but this is a Souls-like game. This is what they want. And then maybe you could have the predator of that boss drop in and stab at both of you during an environmental hazard. Yeah, I did have like a brief thought earlier of a boss where it's like there's two bosses in the arena, but it's not a 2v1. it's a 1v1v1 where like it's just you and then the two bosses all fighting each other. So it's like you have to keep track of both of them, but they will also occasionally just stab each other. Walk in and hide in a corner. I mean, that would certainly be one way to do it. Like, I might potentially have to try and think of ways to prevent cheese like that. Or, I mean, I could just have it be viable. It's like you just walk in, see what's happening, they haven't noticed you yet, and then you kind of just chill until one of them is dead. I think what I would do just currently, I think I would do it to where after the walk-in cutscene ends, you're like partially into the arena. So like if you go too much further in, they notice you. But like if you just like immediately back hop, you would stay outside of their aggro range, and then like maybe you could try and find a place to hide. Although if they're like fighting each other and moving around, there's the possibility that they just get close enough to you to notice you. So you might have to like strategically move around if you want to delay some of the fight. Or, well, to wait out some of the fight, rather. Or, alternatively, maybe it could be like the way you enter the fight is like, for whatever reason, you fell into the middle of the arena. So, like, you just plop down in between the two of them. So they just immediately notice your presence. It's very possible with loose ground. Yeah. It's just like two optional bosses that you get to fight if you happen to just step in the right spot, and then you just fall into a lower part of the dungeon. It could be like maybe like a mantis versus a Hercules beetle or something. Although I'm not sure how fair of a matchup that would be. Hmm. I'm trying to think of like I don't want to just pick obvious things like classics. I do also want like interesting stuff. Like maybe some like creatures that not many people would know about. Scorpion? Ooh. Oh. Who? What if the scorpion is fought in a like nearly pitch black room, but at some point in the game, or maybe that specific dungeon, you gain some sort of ability to emit ultraviolet light, because some scorpions actually glow blue if you hit them with UV radiation. So like it could be like some sort of like flash technique where like you send out a burst of light and then they are temporarily illuminated. Bioluminescent scorpion, yeah. That could be cool. That could be very, very cool. Hmm. We could potentially have like the opportunity for a water level because like we're a genetically and scientifically enhanced thing. So we could have an upgrade that just makes us immune to water. So maybe the fucking fish? Maybe we fight a fish at some point? Or maybe instead of fighting the fish, it's just there's like a small pond or whatever, and there's like some bonus items, like short, like a little ways into the pond, but it's like a stealth section because every single fish is going to kill you in one hit because they just eat you. They just go nom, and then you're dead. Piranha? Maybe. I'm also imagining stuff like maybe like bird eggs or like tadpoles, like things that aren't actively attacking you, but stuff that you could kill to get more biomass. So like maybe after you kill the bullfrog or whatever, there's like a secret area a little ways away with like a tiny pond with some tadpole babies, and then you could choose to eat them to get more money. What's the fucking emoticon for like angry face? Trigger to play with the scale on that for what is enemy and what is step for loot. Okay. Tricky to play with the scale on that for what is enemy and what is step for loot. Yeah. Although, it could also just be, like, pretty obvious. Because, like, stuff like eggs and tadpoles and stuff, they're pretty clearly defenseless. Although I suppose technically you could have the tadpoles, like, be able to flop around and smack you with their tail, which would be funny. Ooh, something that could be interesting is, like, maybe you're navigating some tree branches over a pond, but then in that pond there is, like, that one fish that, like, shoots water up at things. So, like, they could potentially knock you down into a death plane. Zombification mechanic for turning things weaker than you against each other. That improves on what you can affect the game progresses. That could be interesting, although I'm not sure it would make sense. Water Strider bug? I'm aware of the Water Strider bug. Oh my goodness, if the images would please load. If the images would please load. That would be amazing. If the images would please load. Yeah, they use, like, water tension and stuff to fucking stay on top. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. Maybe that could be, like, an upgrade you find at some point. The ability to run on water. Giant water bug? Oh, damn. That thing is fucking massive. It's throwing hands with a turtle. It's eating fish. What the fuck is this thing? This thing is insane. Eating frogs, eating fish. Okay, yeah, no, that's definitely going on the list of bosses. They have all their babies sticking off their back. As far as the allow certain users to send links thing, you can automate that using Nightbot. Yeah, I could. I haven't messed with Nightbot, though. I've only been using StreamerBot. Damn, this thing taking out frogs and fish is absolutely insane. Check the channel prototype mention. Good morning, woe. Yeah, apparently I am just passively reinventing prototype, even though I've never played it. But yeah, currently the general idea is that some science people were trying to make something or other, it got whatever happened got out into the wildlife, infected some creatures. You were created as a counter agent to kill the infected individuals, assimilate them, and then neutralize the infection. So now, right now, we're trying to think of a list of viable bosses. Assassin bug? I do not think I'm familiar with that one. Stick bug assassin. Achievement for dying to them. You got stick bugged. They're really good at what they do, hence the name assassin bug. Yeah, this thing you don't want to fuck with. Okay, assassin bug size. Oh, size scales up to like 1.6 inches. Include robber flies. What is this? Some kind of mosquito type thing? It looks kind of freaky. Yo, Britannica for the win. Damn. I'm gonna learn so many bugs from this stream. We are all going to learn a lot of bugs. Damn, up to 3 inches. Ladybug? Ooh, true. Like, maybe they can just be chilling on some leaves, and then you could just, like, use a ranged attack to shoot them down. Catch and eat bees? That's wild. We're gonna learn so much about insect lore. That will help when we play the game. True. Okay, I think the current placeholder for the player is the murder hornet, like a modified murder hornet, which is about 1.5 inches. Now, of course, like the player is going to be like somewhat humanoid, vaguely, just because that'll be easier to design game around, because I'm used to playing as a human in most games. Although, it would still like have theming. The player's scale could change depending on the biomass level. That could be interesting, but it would be like a very different kind of game than what I'm going for. Trapdoor spider? Oh, oh, that could be a hilarious way to get dropped down into a dungeon. Like, like you're just walking past, and then just in a fraction of a second, it just jumps out, grabs you, pulls you in, and then it just cutscenes. I can feel the entire game. There's a lot of insects. Well, there's a lot of bugs. Eat a certain type of wasp, you gain their ability to chew through their trapdoors and direct them out to eat them. Yo, where's the fucking size? Let me see how big these things are. Might want an arachnophobia. I don't know. I mean, it's a... How are you going to have spider bosses if you have an arachnophobia setting? Like, I'm not opposed to accessibility settings. I just don't know how well it would work. Because, like, the boss's attacks and animations are going to be heavily based on its model. So, like, even if you changed the texture, it's still going to look like a spider. Googly eyes. Britannica, you... Oh, okay. Wait. Britannica, you have failed me. You're not giving me a size for the trapdoor spider. Replaces all spiders with either cat PNGs or boxes. I believe Satisfactory also does that. But, I mean, that's gonna make it very difficult to fight the boss if it's just a floating cat PNG when the actual boss is fucking, like, 2 times as big. Like, I guess maybe for, like, arachnophobia mode, it could just fucking disable the model and just render the hitboxes directly. Although now I'm kind of considering how it would be, like, really funny to just include, like, a spider dungeon. Like, that, like, it's just exclusively spiders. They're basically cartoony variants. What? Wait. Wait, no, the giant spiders in the forest? No, don't fucking get rid of Aragog. Yeah, I'm not sure how you would be able to change spiders given, like, how integral, like, the insect theming is. Like, I would definitely include, like, a content warning. Acromanchala? I don't know who that is. Spiders are arachnids, not that it's important. I know spiders are arachnids. Oh, I said insect theming. But yeah, like, I could definitely include, like, a content warning. That's like, hey, this game is centered around bugs and spiders and insects. Maybe don't play it if you can't handle that. Is an Aragog is an Ackerman Charlotte, basically a bear mixed with a spider. Oh, okay, so it's nightmare fuel. Gotcha. A good enemy that heals you on death? Why the fuck they got a dump truck? Excuse me? Maybe you smack them and pop them, the honey falls out and you eat that. That's an implication. Oh, okay. I thought you meant that like I died and then they would just walk over and heal me of their own volition. Oh, heals you on their death. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Like I said, Anthropomorph is Honeypot doing that? Yeah. Currently, the idea is that nothing is anthropomorphized except for the player. But that could also be an interesting thing to do. It's just, then the issue is how do you fit it into the lore? Like, I'd be down to have anthropomorphized stuff, because then, like, it would let us get more creative with the character designs, and then we could also have NPCs. I just don't know how it would work. Like, unless you want to just completely get rid of humans, and then just have it be purely fantasy, but then you have to figure out what is causing the player to have the assimilation property, and then why are they using that assimilation property? Like, I think one night you did mention the incident being a lab outbreak, so they could have come from there. Possibly. Like, maybe like some of them were genetically modified with human DNA. Because, yeah, I'm imagining the bosses, at least, some of the bosses could be other experiments. But then also some of the bosses are just random animals that are trying to eat you. Excuse me. Hmm. Not every experiment would have to be a boss. There could be strong and weak variants. True. That is true. desert is fitting to have an enemy that can kill it for healing in as well. More room for environmental issues like antlions or even sections where you have to avoid the sun, since murder hornets are susceptible to heat stroke. Oh, that's interesting. I do also want to include the silver ants, and they live in the desert. Silver ants are cool. I think they're like the second fastest insect, the second fastest thing in terms of like body lengths traveled in a single second. Hmm. Be a worm. I was thinking about a burrowing type enemy could be used for fast travel. Yeah, the Australian tiger beetle. I was thinking maybe like the mole cricket or like maybe like the potato bug could be an NPC for fast travel. It's like you pay them some money and then you cutscene through their tunnels. Although, if there's other intelligent experiments such as myself, such as the player, then that does include the ethical dilemma of do you purge all of the infection? Because some of the infected things are like the people that are helping you. Why are some bugs sentient and the others biomass fodder? Well, all of them are biomass fodder. Let's be clear. Everything exists to be consumed. At least that's how some players are going to play. Like, I imagine the scientists made us to clean up all of the infection. It's just some of the infected things aren't hostile. Grim Misalonate. Yeah, of course you can kill the NPC. It's a fucking Souls-like. Everything can die. With the exception of fucking some things, because bullshit. Oh man, I'm imagining a really funny Easter egg in like the tutorial. Like if you exception of Anastasia because the character doesn't have long enough arms. I don't know what that's a reference to. Oh, the Firelink Keeper? Oh no, that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. I can kill the other two people that are locked behind grates using massive shockwave. I'm pretty sure she's just not actually an entity. Like she just doesn't have health. Lautrec is able to kill something that isn't alive. But fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. I'm thinking of like a really funny Easter egg in the tutorial. Because like I'm imagining the tutorial is in a literal lab setting where like you are being presented to people as like, hey, this is what the product can do. Can we please put it into practice? Um, but like I'm imagining you turn and look up and like there's all the scientists standing around, and then you like use your ranged attack to shoot one of them. And then it just fucking cutscenes and they activate like just the contingency spray to kill you. If I was an animal in captivity, I'd do something really fucked up, but only once. True. Yeah, that is something you can only do once most of the time. Oh, to confuse. Oh, I thought you meant because you would be put down. Hmm. Do 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 do. Consume the human baby. Get 15 billion biomass. Purchase everything inside the store. Wahoo! Some of these files could probably be compressed. Although achievements might not be a good thing to start on, like, early. Although, I think I do want play this. It's not rated T for teen. One last check though. Let's see the achievement. In a human infant. Yeah. Oh, that would be hilarious. Just include that exclusively to increase the rating to mature. I think I would want, like, based on the scale of what the game could potentially be, I think I would want at least like 20 to 25 achievements. Like, that seems like a good range. Like, that's a good range for, like, a good amount of game content. I'm not sure how I feel about boss achievements and, like, story achievements. Because, like, to me, achievements should be something that you have to go out of your way to do. They shouldn't be something that you're going to get automatically for beating the game. Because if it's something that you get automatically for beating the game, then they might as well not be there. Like, all that does is, like, serve to give you a vague bar chart of, like, how far a given player, like, how far the average player gets into the game before they stop playing. Which is interesting statistics. But, I mean, you don't need achievements for that. You could just track that stuff. and then just store it in like Steam data or something. Okay, I will be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom. I'm back. Only one achievement. Bad ending. Eat a baby and get squished. If I did include an achievement for eating a human baby, the achievement name would probably just be "You Monster." Or "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Ooh. What if there was an achievement for killing the assassin bug? And because, like, maybe the assassin bug isn't really an enemy in the traditional sense. Maybe it's more a puzzle. You have to actually figure out how to kill it. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's get rid of all this shit. Do 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 do. Locations, locations. Hmm. Ooh, maybe it's a hub style game. Maybe it's like you have the lab as like your main location, and then you get shipped off to like these different levels. Like Super Mario 64 style. So you get shipped off to like the desert area, and then there's like a bunch of stuff you can do in there. So it wouldn't be as open world. Hmm. Although I think I would prefer the open world thing more. In terms of like exploration. Okay, let's go ahead and open up Krita. I'm back. I don't think you missed much of anything. I deleted some files from like previous stuff, like the different weapon types, because it seems like we're gonna have a different weapon system rather than like a few dozen unique weapons lying around. I just made a scale folder, made an achievement folder. So nothing too crazy. We talked about killing babies. That was fun. It would give you a lot of biomass. Still need to go into how that system works more, but that's a later issue. Yeah, the weapon stuff. I'm currently imagining there would be like maybe like what I'm imagining is there's like a set amount of weapons or like abilities that you unlock by like assimilating certain things or finding them. And then maybe like you hold a hotkey to open up a menu or a radial thing, and then you choose the one you want to equip. So like you could have like sword, gun, rocket launcher, etc. Or well, ranged attack, ranged explosive. And then maybe some things that you unlock are just passive upgrades to your mobility. One idea that I did have, although it would detract from the exploration style of the exploration theming a little bit, is have the lab be like a central hub, and then have all these other areas be like levels that you go to, and then they have a bunch of self-contained stuff, similar to Super Mario 64. Doesn't feel very Souls-like. I would like to collect different styles of weaponry. Well, I mean, you. I'm not saying that there's only like 5 different weapon types. There could be like dozens, but it's just instead of like holding the weapon, you would find it and then assimilate it into your living self, and then like I don't know. Like it would effectively be just having the weird weapon. It's just part of you instead of holding it. Because I'm imagining like killing a boss that uses like chemical weapons and then like unlocking like a blast gun, quote unquote gun. Because like I'm absolutely a system where the assimilation is more adapting your biomass to random weapons, like integrating a mandible or button pheromones. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like you would find like a mantis claw or whatever, fully consume it, and then you would be able to equip it at will, and like your arm would like kind of morph into the mantis claw. Like I guess the difference would be that you wouldn't really be able to drop any of the weapons if you decided that you didn't care about one. Like you would just have to choose not to equip it. Like they aren't always used to the body. Your inventory would store items to make the weapons, as you would learn what functions how. Yeah, I mean, I guess the inventory thing would matter. Yeah, I guess if you have a lot of different weapon types, being able to drop shit is kind of useful. So that you're not forced to just have a fuck ton of stuff clogging up your inventory, clogging up a menu. It would also allow you to like get more creative visually rather than everything just being your body morphing into the shape of whatever you collected. Because it would be like, oh, you're actually holding that bitch. Not, oh, my arm shapeshift into 15 different things. My arm is morphed around the mandible, but the mandible itself is just the blade. Oh. Oh, so like, regardless of what it is, you're still holding it. It's just your arm is changing shape to accommodate just physically grabbing the thing. Oh, okay. That honestly, I like that more than what I was thinking of. That's a lot more creative. Question: Should you have to should you have to find the full armor set before it's unlocked in Vanity, or is it just like on a per piece basis? Change your form to accommodate its function. That makes sense. Since it's Vanity, it's purely visual. It's just for player expression. I think just having it on a per individual piece basis is fine. Because it's not like it's unlocking anything. Per piece because fashion souls. um, I don't want to have to collect the other parts if all I want is Pumpkinhead. You know what? That's fair. Yeah, you don't need the full Scarecrow set if you only care about the head. And I definitely want unlock progress to be global for replayability. Because I imagine, like, speedrunners might have certain outfits that they like more than others. And just being able to start the game while looking the part is important. One thing that I thought would be kind of funny is if I also included weapon vanity, so that if you're wielding a weapon, you can select a vanity of another weapon of the same type. Like, they have the same animations. It's just the hitboxes would be different. Maybe we put my armor is fabulous. Yes.
Drink water and stretch.
No. Okay, that was my alarm playing through the wrong speakers. Hmm. Hmm. Argument to be made that if you find something like a mandible and want to morph your form to make it look like a needle, that is within your power's capability. Yeah, technically. But then if you're arguing that, then you're also arguing that the player can just change their form into whatever the fuck they want. And then that's going beyond the scope of what I want. Like, having vanity weapons, like, I think it could be interesting. It's just weapons play so differently from each other. Like, their animations and their hitboxes. Like, I just don't know if it would be possible to do vanity weapons. It would be limited to what they assimilated in the past. No, I know. It would only be like it would be restricted to what you have already acquired, what you've already collected. It's just you would never be able to, like, let's say you have a straight sword and you have a great hammer. Those have very different animations and hitboxes. So you couldn't really, like, I suppose technically you could have the hitboxes and player animation of the great hammer, but then just slap the straight sword model onto it and it would look really funny, but it would look kind of jank. It would also, like, I don't intend on including online multiplayer stuff for PvP, but it would also potentially mess with PvP. Wait, actually, no, it wouldn't, because PvP you would have vanity disabled for, like, so you can't just lie to your opponents. Because the armor vanity slot is purely non-canon. That's not like the player morphing or whatever. That's purely for just replayability purposes. I was mainly talking about the weapon thing. Armor is just armor for armor's sake. Yeah. Hmm. I could go full Spelunky. Just log everything. Status conditions might not need to be in the journal because that would potentially be viewable just in the inventory, like under your resistances. Do 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 do. Is it this one? Ah, here we go. Having it mention when enemies can apply that status condition would be nice, but it doesn't really need to go into what the status condition does mechanically, unless there's like a ton of them. I think when a specific enemy can apply it would probably be listed under that specific enemy's page. Like, if you unlock more information about them, and then you can see their specific attacks. That's what I meant? Oh, okay. Okay, so... Actually, you know what? This can be defaulted to on. Actually, Ah. Fucking argument to be made for the things you assimilate having individual durability. No. No. I'm After experiencing Dark Souls 1, no durability. Durability doesn't exist in that game. Because, like I think I only ever had one time where in the entire 500 hours where durability was actually an issue. And then I immediately just spent like 150 souls to fully repair the thing. And you get that by killing like one or two enemies. I actually prefer no durability, or at least way high durability with easy fixes. That's way high durability with easy fixes is basically how Dark Souls 1 does it. Because like things tend to have like at least 100 durability. Like that's the low end for like proper weapons. And then it takes like 9 hits, like 5 to 9 hits to lose a single durability. And then like even if you fully deplete it, it's like only fucking like barely anything to fully repair it. So like the only time I've actually seen durability be an issue is in a challenge run, a self-imposed challenge run where you're just not able to fix stuff. That's the only time it's ever been an issue. Like there might be enemies that could potentially like attack your durability directly, which could be interesting, but I don't think that pops up very often. Having my epic sword break after 10 swings is obnoxious. Yeah. Uh, durability is used in an interesting way with magic weapons. Like things that have a secondary attack that is magical in nature. It will consume a lot of durability as like the quote-unquote mana cost. Which that is interesting. Although it is annoying because like you get like 10 uses of the bonus attack before you have to use a repair item. Depending 10 uses, 10, 20, depending on what it is. Like I would honestly prefer the player to just have a mana stat. Can you think of anything else that might be worth including in these settings? It could be more realistic, but intentionally making it low value, hard to repair is annoying. Though the magic could be biomass-based attacks? Maybe. I'm actually really surprised that I don't think there's a weapon or anything in Dark Souls 1 that like passively consumes souls to repair itself. That would be useful. Colorblind? True. Colorblind mode is a very good call. Although I think there's some games that that actually just quote unquote hard code in colorblind mode. Like they just make all of the color themings colorblind agnostic. Although if I'm in a more natural environment, I don't know if I would be able to do that. Oh, I mean, I could figure out a way to do it. Yo, what if I just... What if the colors of the games is, like, as viewed through the Hornet's eyes directly? Because I highly doubt the Hornets see color in the same way that humans do. That does require knowledge of color theory for it to mesh well aesthetically. True. Although I'm trying to find out what their photoreceptor types are. Because apparently they can see 3 different wavelengths. Unique color vision systems that are from humans, trichromatic vision, 3 types of photoreceptors that respond to different wavelengths. Yeah, what colors do they see? Just fucking tell me. You not. Okay. Okay, color spectrum wavelengths. Let me see the visual. Okay, 300 to 650. Oh, okay. Okay, it looks like. Oh yeah, links are disabled again. Yeah, it looks like they can just they can see like more or less all the same colors we can. They can just also see into ultraviolet. Okay, that could be interesting to mess with. Potentially having like ultraviolet stuff be a thing. Yeah, I know there's like some animals that just can see fewer colors just because they don't have as many receptor types. Hmm. Fuck. I don't know how creative I'm going to be able to get with armor. I mean, I guess maybe like an acorn cap. Sounds like wasps are also red colorblind. Yeah. Yeah, they can see 300 to 650 nanometers. So yeah, it looks like they can see into like high orange, but they can't really perceive red. So it looks like their vision ranges from like ultraviolet to high orange. Or well, I guess just ultraviolet to orange. Yeah, because red is around 700 nanometers, and they can only see up to around 650 nanometers. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do for armor. I mean, like, I could get creative and think of, like, nature-themed armor sets. It's just, I don't know what the, like, justification for it being present in the world would be. Actually, fuck, similar to dungeons. Like, dungeons typically tend to be structured and designed. Insect parts? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I guess the argument could be like the character made all the armor, but then you can't fucking just have armor lying around that somebody else already made. Like if you want to just have a chest that just has a full armor set. Could put the required materials in the chest. That's a good point. Spine's manuals you could craft with them or integrate them directly. Yeah. I guess maybe instead of having like just armor that you find, maybe it's like as you kill more enemies and learn more about their anatomy, you unlock like armor recipes. So like the player chooses what they want to make. If you could make different exoskeletons, but the heavier ones affect your flight ability. Yeah. Flight is going to be an issue because that drastically impacts how you level design. I could make flight be limited by stamina. Yeah, player could fly. If I make the player able to fly, that's going to be an issue. Yeah, I've been thinking about that and like if done properly, that would allow for some more unique exploration. However, it would also potentially allow you to just bypass a ton of shit. You could limit it with the biomass. How so? Like flying costs money. best way to go about it would be to give it its own bar that refills on landing. True. I mean, I think it could work if you bind it to stamina, but then you would have to account for what is the maximum that the player could upgrade their stamina. Flying exhausts some of your biomass, and it can also weigh you down the more you have. Ooh. That does sound interesting, but two issues. One, if the biomass is also the player's experience and the player's money. So the player is just going to naturally want a lot of it. And also, I don't want to force the player to go grind money just so they can fly. But also, if someone's doing like a no money challenge run, that means they wouldn't be able to use flight, which means I wouldn't be able to make flight mandatory for beating the game. I would have to incorporate some sort of alternative path for them to find. Maybe flight could be like, why is biomass money? Because Souls like. Yeah, same reason Souls are. And also just bugs in general. I imagine biomass would be kind of like their foodstuffs. So like having that just be the currency would just make sense to me. So like I don't think it's that far of a stretch. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe like you don't start with flight. Maybe you get that after beating a certain boss. Just shaves off some of their exoskeleton, bleeds into a cup, and that's 80% of the biomass exchanges. Yes, here's my flesh. Now give me the really big katana. Flight would open up a lot of opportunities for like map design. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like your ability, your idea of it just has own exclusive its own exclusive bar that gets upgraded independently. Because that would allow you to have a lot more control over how much capacity. If you're over-encumbered, you just can't fucking fly. Yo! Fucking do. One way to do something similar to chaos weapons, losing weapon viability on death, would be to have certain weapons require a specific amount of biomass. Otherwise, it throws you around to it because it's heavy and you're not. So when you die, you have to pick up your biomass before you can use it. I do like the idea of the amount of money you have impacting certain mechanics. Oh, I'm so glad I thought of that. That would make losing it very painful, though. Then don't lose it. Maybe it could be that the more biomass you have, you get a bonus to your like strength stat, maybe, but like not an infinitely scaling bonus. It like has a cap. Risk reward system for specific weapons, not for all weapons. Losing my strength as a result is terrible. Yeah. Ring of sacrifice be looking juicy. Succulent. Yes, indeed. Yo, imagine if biomass impacted equip load. It's like the more money you have, the higher your baseline equip is. It's like, oh, what's that? You're rich as fuck? Too bad, you can only use a dagger in battle. Maybe not mana, because the player could potentially just get a shit ton of it and then have infinite uses of the magic system. Increase your endurance? Money magic. Someone's excited. Expending my coin for magic. Magic system, not Midas system. Hmm. It would definitely have. If I gave it, if I used this to like give bonus to stuff, it would have to have a cap. A specific infinite use consumable that lets you throw biomass as a projectile. I was actually thinking about something like that being like a boss weapon. Like the Bombardier Beetle, maybe? It would make the late game feel like a god. Yeah. Yo. Idea. Uh, I don't know how I'm gonna do like rings or whatever, like equipables that give you like a unique bonus. But what if there was something that allowed you to replace your health bar with your biomass? Or like your biomass is considered extra health. That might be too strong. Oh, but then I suppose if you did use that, but then you still died, you would be completely out of all of your money. Maybe that could be like a skill tree thing? No. That's something you should be able to unequip. Not a permanent upgrade. Because I would be interested... Like, a skill tree could be interesting. Although, just having certain things be locked by bosses also works. Cap at 10% of max health. A consumable that when used without an... Wait. Oh, so a consumable that when used... Wait. Oh, a consumable that when you use it, it turns some of your biomass into a limited amount of bonus health. I'm running into mentally splitting biomass as cash and biomass as literal personal biological mass used for mutation. Well, I mean, it is more or less the same thing. It's just you can either use it to augment yourself, or you can just plop it out onto the ground as payment, because that's just meat stuff that the other bugs will be able to eat. Because food is money. You can refill that 10% max health without resting, but you have to take an action of like a while to refill it. Oh, okay, so that could be like a spell. I don't want to lose all my power when I die. Well, that's... I imagine it would be a small bonus. The ring of sacrifice. Doobie boop 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 boop. Okay, I'll think of fucking spell names later. Postgame super boss as a giant desert centipede? Is its toxicognaths. Pictured making rings from blades of grass. Oh, that's cool. Which bug do I want to get fucked up by today? Yes. The swarm ring. Just summon every ant in the kingdom. Oh, get fucked by today, not fucked up by today. Although, sometimes that's the same thing. Giant desert centipede. I'm just getting Pikmin 3 flashbacks. It just also does that. Ooh, giant desert centipede do be looking kinda spicy. Honestly, this guy, like, I don't know how aggressive they are naturally, but this guy looks kind of like something that would just be chilling until the player attacked it. I'm sorry, this thing is eating a lizard? Oh, okay. This thing's just taking out lizards, fighting turtles, and killing birds. Okay, okay. I'm just gonna put that in there because I definitely want super bosses. Toxicognaths are effectively fangs that are as sharp as hypodermic needles. Damn. And venom. Shit, yeah, that's definitely an end game fucking scythe weapon. Fuck. They can also kill humans. Damn. Nature, chill the fuck out. Hmm. Hmm. Idea. Idea. Or maybe this would be a thing that you can just do at a rest. Maybe you can, while you're resting, you can just convert currency biomass into item form biomass, and vice versa. But you can't. So you could like preserve your biomass so you don't lose everything if you die, but you're only able to actually convert it back uh, at a rest point, or maybe like converting it between forms has like a penalty. So like you only actually get like 75% of the total number or 50% of the total number. Goliath bird eater tarantula. Fuck. I could see that being a thing, that the intended way to kill it is by cheesing it, by shooting it with arrows from fucking the other side of the map. Whatever reason it has that name, but has never been observed killing birds. What? I thought the reason it got that name is because it catches birds in its webs. Tarantulas don't do that typically. Oh, okay. I want to ride a tarantula. That could be cool. Yeah, despite its name, the Goliath bird eater only rarely actually preys on birds. Interesting. Diet consists primarily of other large arthropods, worms, and amphibians. However, because of its size and opportunistic predatory behavior, the species commonly kills and consumes a variety of insects and small terrestrial vertebrates. They do not consume their prey in the open, rather they drag it back to their burrow and begin the digesting process. Ooh. What if you get jumped by the Goliath bird eater, it drags you back to its den, similar to like fucking beast den or whatever in Hollow Knight. So like you think you died, but you actually just found a fucking loading zone. Wolf spiders would be cool. Seth's you know what also true. Don't wolf spiders like have they have like a very infectious bite because they're just like super dirty? Oh wait, I might be thinking of the brown recluse. Okay. Wolf spider looks terrifying. Although wolf spider is kind of small. Like only like like fucking like maybe 2 centimeters. Okay, no, up to about like 1.38 inches. Okay. At the top of the Wikipedia article, it says this article is about the family of spiders. For the DC Comics character, see this link. Picnic basket dungeon? Yo, that would be hilarious. Okay. Uh. Nope. Game is gonna be 80% spider, 20% insect. Yeah, no, we need to spread it around some. We need to have variety. As it should be. Yes, let me just change the name of the game to Arachnophobia. My autorectophobia now is to totally play a game literally called Arachnophobia. Hmm. Oh, not log. Stump. Oh, wait, no. Actually, no, a stump wouldn't be big enough. Unless it was like a big stump. Hmm. Types of mites that attach to bees? Dealt with my other members of the hive, peeling them off. Given this is a singular hornet, that could be an egg parasite, Dark Souls. Mites that kill bees. Oh, oh shit! That's like a fucking tick parasite type thing. Oh yeah, that would suck. Oh damn. Yeah, some of these images are just like you do not want to be in that situation. Learning so much nature. Yes. Hmm. Maybe the mite parasite. Uh, maybe it like reduces max HP slightly, but also counts as a quip load. Trunk of a General Sherman. Is that a car? That's probably copyrighted. Like I could maybe do just like generic car. It's a reasonably sized tree. Oh. Okay, fuck the log. Let me look up General Sherman. New Game Plus, the bosses are replaced with similarly sized distant relatives. For New Game Plus, I feel like there New Game Plus just itself should be very like minimal changes. I feel like for the actual drastic changes, that should be reserved for a master mode type thing. The fuck do you mean reasonably sized tree? This thing gives the redwoods a run for their money. Death links are still disabled. There isn't a link, a command specifically for Discord. I do have a command set up. I just don't have one specifically for Discord. Streamer bot? I'm gonna fucking throw you through a wall. Am I the stupidest fucking dumbass on the planet? Why the fuck did I get rid of the socials command? Actually, if you just fucking scroll down on like you're on Twitch. If you just scroll down there should be a link. Oh yeah, no, it's the giant ass Discord logo. Although it's not visible if you're fully scrolled up. Although, should I go ahead and re-add the fucking, like, should I add a command for the Discord, or is it being in the description sufficient? Because to find it on YouTube, it's a little bit more hidden. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. Okay, add command. Sources, Twitch and YouTube. Okay, and then add to chat commands. And then rules and info, server invite. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, for fuck's sake. Do 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 do. There we go. Dungeon scale, realistically, would be a birch or an elm tree. No, we can do the General Sherman. It can be a fucking like 10, 20 hour long dungeon. Just fucking plop down an entire extra game's worth of content. That would be a massive dungeon. Yeah. It doesn't need to be the entire tree. It can be one rotted out section. True. I love how nobody has brought up the rotting corpse. I was imagining that there would be a tree dungeon, and then like once you get to the top of the tree, you find a nest of the Raven boss, and that's where you fight them. It's a bug game. Corpses be corpsing. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yo, what if when you get to the end of the corpse dungeon, you get the option to like assimilate the entire thing? To get to the nest in the ribbon brings you to the end. I just make a full-on parody remake of Dark Souls and hide it as an Easter egg. That would be the funniest thing ever. People be wondering why the game 20 gigabytes. Assimilating dungeons on completion would be crazy. Yeah. From a standalone game to I want to be the guy. Indeed. Although, maybe instead of like a full-on I guess it depends on what the corpse is. Maybe like a deer or a human. Like some dude got fucked up by a bear. The April Fool's joke for another crab's treasure. Crab corpse? Wait, like you played as a crab corpse? Entire whale possessed what? Entire whale on the beach. Okay, so now we got to start thinking about like topology. Because we got stuff that works in a forest, we got stuff that works in a desert. Oh, crab corpse for the dungeon? It would have to be a pretty big crab. Because you got to remember, the player, if we're trying to keep everything scale accurate, the player is around 1.5 inches. Let me convert that into actual usable units. So, like, we gotta find a species of crab that would work. Big crab. There is no crab large enough for that? I don't know. Tasmanian giant crab looks kind of chonky. It could also potentially be a mutated Tasmanian giant crab from the infection, so it's even bigger than normal. A width of up to 18 inches. About 17.6 kilograms. A room the length of 18 player character widths. Yeah, I suppose that would be a pretty small dungeon. Hmm. What is the largest crustacean? Oh, piss off with this photoshopped bullshit. Okay, they keep showing me the fucking like the Japanese giant crab, which is like that guy's cheating. He has super fucking long legs. He shouldn't count as the biggest. Ten-foot crab called Big Daddy. Or does crustacean be either the Tasmanian giant or the giant isopod? Nope. The Japanese spider crab is being considered the largest because they're just super fucking tall. So they're really wide. But if we were to talk about it in terms of pure mass, they would almost certainly be getting blasted out of the water. Honestly, including the giant isopod would be really funny because I think that would freak people out more than the arachnophobia. Like I could see the giant isopod being like an NPC that you talk to. Why the fuck are they feeding it Doritos? I hope that's photoshopped. Someone took a size comparison photo of the giant isopod next to a kitten. I will not be. I appreciate that link, but I will not be watching it because I do plan on playing uh Another Crab's Treasure at some point. Where the fuck is this image? Why the Google? If you display me an image and then I click View Website, why is this image not on the site? I sent the comparison image in Discord. It's a joke trailer by the devs. Oh, I don't even watch real trailers. Okay, so this image was copied directly from Google Images. Well, Quant Images, I guess. It does not appear on the website that it was the thumbnail for, so I actually cannot confirm the source of that image. Ooh! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, do we have a source? We might have a source. Maybe. Okay, so this was from that image was from a video, but it looks like it was a Japanese video. Yeah, okay, yeah, that language is Japanese. Although I can't find the video. I'm finding screenshots from the video. Okay, I'm gonna post this image in a Discord where I have people who speak Japanese. Because we're derailing. I want to find the source for this. Or we're gonna have a snail NPC? Ooh, that could be interesting. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and just screenshot this text and see if I can do just a fucking image to text translate. Co-op third place cat. I'm a cat, I'm a cat, I'm a cat, I'm a cat. Okay. Stick the whole web URL. No, 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 no. It's image. It's Japanese text inside of an image. So I had to find an image text translator thing. Oh my goodness. Wait, Google Translate can translate from images? Makes sense. Okay, oh, fuck off with this AI bullshit. Fuck off, animal lover YouTube account. I, I want the Japanese video. Show me the Japanese video. Volcano snail? Holy fuck, this snail looks badass. Like just fucking jet black snail with red highlights. Okay, so okay. Okay, this looks like an actual like blog post. Okay, you have the image of the fucking thing. Do you give credit to where the image came from? Probably not. Oh, this is bullshit. Okay, let's try with Google. Oh my goodness. Nobody gives credit to the original source. And the thing is, like, it's a Japanese video, so it's very possible that I'm just not going to be able to find it using English search tools. Sag. Super Sag. Wait, there's a logo. Logo. It's a barely visible logo. Let's see if I can get a better view. Fucking. Oh my goodness. Pause. Oh my goodness, TikTok. Why are you so garbage? If you try and buffer a video on TikTok, it automatically unpauses. Oh my goodness. Fucking garbage. Okay, TBS. Okay, it looks like the logo is TBS. Okay, so Japanese company, TBS. Tokyo Broadcasting System. TBS. Oh, that's just fucking normal television in Japan, I guess. Sorry for the sidetrack. Okay, TBS. Broadcasts? Wait, site. Maybe they have a website? Can I... Okay, so that was posted June 30th, 2014. June 30th of 2014. June 7th of 2013. May 19 of 2012. Wait. It's been 2 years since Reddit top posted Kitty and Giant Isopod. Okay, wait, so 2012. So at least 2011, or sorry, 2010. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna give up on that quest for now. I could definitely see like a snail shell shield. Or maybe like armor, perhaps? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. And like walk around and stuff. Wake up a little bit more. Okay. I don't think there would be much sense to have a faith equivalent. Uh, okay, I'm actually gonna go throw on some boots real quick. My feet are getting cold. Okay. Hmm. I'm not sure what to do. My brain is not giving me anything. We got strength, dexterity. We don't really need faith. And I don't want to just copy Dark Souls 1-1. Dexterity might not actually matter if we're going the route of like your arm like just actually changes shape to accommodate whatever you're holding. So dexterity might be irrelevant. Okay. Brain is completely and utterly blanking, and I'm gonna have to start getting ready for work soon. I think I'm gonna call it a little bit early. But we made some decent progress on stuff and things. Okay. Have a good day. Bye bye.